Hi, my name's Steve and you're listening to Night Talker. It's a program that I've put together where we just talk about anything and everything, I guess. Nothing off the table really, unless it gets too deep into politics, things like that. Basically just what's going on in the world, where we are, what's happening, a little bit of everything really, just whatever conversation comes up, whatever comes to mind. I'm just sitting here pondering over different things all the time. Different films, different stories, different things going on in the world. With the Ukraine thing at the moment, that's world news. It's the only news at the moment. What are all the good stories? The good news. Is there any good news? What's going on in the world today? I don't think there is. I think we're just doomed to have what we have, and we make the best of it. I saw a video the other day where a woman in the video, so I think I posted it actually on Facebook. And a woman says, we bring into the universe or into the world what we perceive to be, which means if we're happy, we bring happiness to the world. If we're down, we're grumpy and we're upset and sad and lonely, well then we project that into the world. So I always say, be happy and smile a lot, laugh a lot. Be happy and the world will be happy with you. I think of that John Lennon record or song, we are one, we are the ones, we are the children, we are the ones that's got a brighter day, so let's start giving. I love that song. I think of Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. I can't think of the lyrics of it at the moment, but that's another one that's it's worked just throughout the day, just singing these lyrics. I guess that's why when we're children, we're always happy because we grow up. The first thing we see, we don't see the news like we see today. Like people get on a bus today. Let's say you're going to work. Let's just take a scenario. You're going to work. You on your way to work, you buy the paper. You get up in the morning, have your shower and shave and everything. Have your breakfast. But while you're doing that, you're either listening to the radio or you're listening to the TV. You've got the TV on semi-low. And it's a news report because it's early in the morning, so you're getting all the news, you're getting all the negativity happening in the world going through while you're having breakfast. Then let's say you commute, because it's easier than driving. You're heading to the bus, you see a paper boy, you grab your paper, you pay your, used to be 20 cents when I did papers, it's a lot dearer now. You pay your money and you get on the bus and you read the paper, and now you're just reading the news, because this is the early edition of the morning paper. You are now reading all the stuff that's happened overnight in different parts of what they've written about. So it's all depressing, it's all down. Then you get to work, now you're not in the best frame of moods because you haven't just enjoyed the ride of looking out the window. Not that we look out the window nowadays, everybody's on their mobile phones, they want to get rid of that phone. Look out the window, if you're on a bus, look out the window once in a while, see what's going on outside. Because it's not as dreary and bad as it is looking at a screen, 7-Eleven. Anyway, back to the newspaper. You get to work, you're all depressed, you're down, you clock in. Now you're really not in the mood for doing any work, you're just depressed. So your whole day just stays in that mantra of being down here. Unless you've got some good people that you work with and they're coming up and they're jovial and they can have a joke and get you, it might lift your spirits up, and the rest of the day your spirits are fine, you're having a fun day. But if that doesn't happen, then let's just go scenario, it doesn't happen. You go through your day like that, you clock out at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. You're heading to the bus, you grab the newspaper, you read the news of the day, which is the new newspaper, it's not the one you had this morning, it's the evening edition, so that's what's happening throughout the day and around the world. You read all that, then you get home, turn on the telly, listen to the news while you're cooking your dinner, or while your wife's cooking dinner, or whoever's cooking dinner. And then you just, that's happens day after day after day, and you're just down. That's what I was saying a minute ago about when we were kids, we're always happy. Why? Because we didn't watch the news, we watched cartoons. And cartoons really got you excited and happy and jovial and just, you were always, as a kid, that's why kids, you never see depressed, well, you don't see a lot of depressed kids. You don't see a lot of depressed kids because they're getting that little bit of enjoyment in the day of watching cartoons and happy stuff and going to kindy and school and so forth. And then they grow up and realise that it's not about cartoons, it's Yeah, real life, and this is it. But yeah, that's just one story I thought I'd tell. Hi, my name's Steve, and you're listening to Night Talker. Oh, the other thing about a paper boy, I used to be bad at school. Always up for the cane, and for people who don't know what the cane is it's about this long, bit of cane actually. And they used to give you the best 6 of the best, which is they hit it on your hand across here. Yeah, across here, and 6 times, 3 on this hand, 3 on that hand, and then you get sent back to the class. Well, I used to be up every day for that because I've got to do something stupid in class because school wasn't my thing. Anyway, I ended up finding out that we could get out of school early if we did a paper thing, a paper job. So, which was pretty good at the beginning because we used to nip out of school at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then go and mess around for a couple of hours and then go to this job. But when the teachers found out that we didn't actually start till around 3:45, 4 o'clock, they nipped it in the butt and said no, we couldn't get out of school until about 3:15, giving us enough time to get to the job. And the thing is, I stood outside of I had this big ornament, this big statue in St George's Terrace, for people that know Perth, in St George's Terrace, and I used to get my 500 newspapers to sell. Now the thing is, I only made a cent a newspaper, so your top money was $5 a day at best. But even then, you take your whatever you didn't sell back, which was very few. And then they'd work out what you sold and they'd pay you, but I never ever saw $5. It was always like $2.50. And every time I asked, well, where's the rest of it? I just got pushed on, moved along, got people to serve. And I ended up having an argument, which is the worst thing you can do, is I had an argument with the paying person. And the next day on my route, I did not, because I used to deliver your papers to where you were, if you were standing, if you were stationary like we were. And they'd come and a truck would go past and they'd drop off the papers. And where my 500 now become 250 because I had an argument with the person at where they pay you. So I learned a very valuable lesson there. Don't mess with the hand that feeds you because you can start to lose money. But yeah, no, $5. Well, it was $5 a week, 5 days a week. It's $25 a week. That was at 13, 14 years old. That's not too bad. You were making some sort of money. It was, paying for your cigarettes, which I smoked back then. It paid for a few little things. Until my dad found out I was making $25 a week, and then he started to hit me $15 for rent, and I thought that was a bit rough. Then when I really started a real job, and I was making, my first pay was like $55, I think, a week, and he hit me $25 a week for rent. So yeah, you don't tell your old man how much money you make because he'll take half of it. But I guess that's all round. That's how things happen. But yeah, well, okay, what's happening around the world? Food, they're destroying food. I saw this video on TikTok the other day, and they're saying that 3 chicken farms have gone up in smoke, and a couple of other big businesses have just caught fire, just all around the same week, which is, can't tell me it's accidental, so we don't know what's going on there. Of course, we have then Bill Gates going around buying up farms in Europe, destroying the crops to build buildings rather than food for the world. So happy times ahead, people. Happy times ahead. Yeah, it's fun and games. But what can you do? Well, that's it. People say we have to stand up. We have to. I saw a video the other day where they said you have to say no. You just say no. You just say no to everything. When they tell you you've got to do this, say no. But if you want to end up in jail, that's fine, because that's where you will end up. If a cop says to you, they say don't comply, don't comply. Well, if a police officer says to you, you have to do something, and you go, I'm non-compliant, he's going to arrest you. That's no two ways about it. You're going to get arrested. Is that what you want? So no compliant doesn't work. I think we've had a few wins with, if you watch High Wire or Redacted or Rebel. We've had a few wins. Just today I saw a video where the Victorian police had to pay Rebel's, I can't remember his name, but his security guard they assaulted while he was filming last year, 2022 I think it was. He was filming the rally and they attacked his security guard and they had to pay him. They just paid him out $140,000 for assault on him, and they're saying now that there's going to be a lot more cases going through. And I also heard that there's a lot more cases going through for lawyers and nurses who forced us to take I didn't take the jab, I'm unjabbed, I don't mind telling people that, that they are now going to be charging them with all sorts of things from crimes of humanity and things like that. So a lot of court cases coming up, and it's going to be very okay. See about that. Chemtrails are still happening, of course. Poisoning our food and our water. So it's all. I mean, I don't want this just to be doom and gloom, because that's what I'm not trying to do. I'm just trying to tell you these are the things that are happening in the world today. I'm trying to think of something positive that I've seen on YouTube, and except for the women doing their makeup and others just talking, there's not much happening that I can see, which is good news. There are some funny ones. If you're looking for something if you want to laugh, go to, it's in the Facebook, I don't know how to explain it, but if you go to Facebook and it's got all those things up top, you've got your little house, which is home, and then next to it you've got a little, it's like a video thing. If you press on that, generally it will go to a program called Dry Bar, which is a comedy segment. I watched one the other day, and normally what I'm watching it, if I want to do something, I'll pause it and then go to the toilet or whatever I want to do. This one last night, I could not move away. I could not pause it. I had to wait. I held on. I could not stop watching it. He was good. He was funny. He was entertaining. He was informative. It was just a brilliant, one of the best comics I've seen in a very, very long time. And normally I look at their names. I think I might have looked at his name, but I looked at a few others as well afterwards. So names go in one eye out there. But that was, yeah, if you get a chance, do that, go check it out, have a good laugh. It's a good hour, or maybe half an hour, of just comedy, of laughter, and I think that's what we need in the world today. We need that little bit more laughter, that fun, to put joy back into the world, because there's so much being sucked out of it at the moment that it's just, it gets draining. But yeah, so just a little personal thing about me. I don't drive anymore. I've given up driving because I drive like Mr. Magoo. Now, if you don't know who Mr. Magoo is, I suggest you Google it. So it's Mr. I think it's M-A-G-O-O, Magoo. So Google that. That's it. You'll see what I mean. And that's how I was driving. So I thought it was safer for me to get off the road. If somebody happened, because what's happening, I've got my corona in both eyes now, and if because I can only see so much peripheral, a lot here I don't see at the front. So if some little person or big person or whatever steps out in front of me, I'm not going to see them until basically they've gone over the bonnet, or I hear the dum dum dum. Then I know, oh shit, I've hit something. So it's better off I just don't drive. I use public transport. Now, I used to hate public transport. I thought it used to suck because it would never go anywhere where I wanted to go. But over the past 30 years, the public transport has got quite good. They go anywhere, everywhere. There's nowhere you probably possibly. I'm still not sure about down that way, Canning Vale way. Oh, Canning Vale, that's one. I'm not sure about how far they go down there, because I used to have to get a taxi to work every day because I couldn't get public transport. That was 20 odd years ago. But I don't know if that's changed. But everywhere else I would need to go, I seem to be able to get there. And I can get from here to the city. From the city I can get on a train and go just about anywhere. So yeah, public transport is pretty good. And today's fuel prices, ooh, mate. I lived in Gelton, which a lot of people know about, and just up in Gelton is called the Espin Caravan Park, which has a service station there, and it's between Dongra and Gelton, about a 30-minute drive either way. So it's there. And one day I asked the bloke, I said, because fuel was like fuel was like 60 cents or something, and we were spewing about the price then. And I said to the guy, I said, how much do you make? This is the guy who runs it. I said, how much do you make on fuel? Because I know the tax charge a hell of a lot for fuel. Even though my sister said, no, it's all right, they give us the excise on it, so we're paying less than what we would be. They didn't put the excise on it, but anyway, won't go then. So I said to him, how much do we pay? How much do you get per litre of fuel? He told me he gets a cent a litre. 1 cent a litre. So if he sells 100 litres, he makes $1. The rest of it is the government's. So yeah, so the government are in this hand saying, we're giving you this excise of whatever so that you pay, which means they pay $80, well it would have been back then, $50 for a barrel of oil. They put excise off, take excise off of that or something, and make it cheaper, and then it's supposed to be cheaper when it gets to the Bowser. But it's not, because we paid 50% back then. It's 50% fuel, what you're paying in fuel goes to the government, but now it's probably 90% because the fuel's gone up to nearly $1.90, I saw in some place the other week. And I don't drive, which is pretty good, so I don't pay that. But if you look at that, and they're not paying $80 to $100 for a barrel of fuel. And I was going to do the maths on that because each barrel is a 44 gallon drum, and that was obviously time to change it into litres, but I thought, no, too hard. But if you took that, if you know math better than I do, if you got a 44 gallon drum, you turn that into litres, work out how many litres you get from that 44 gallon drum, and then work out $1.90 per litre from that drum, how much that drum is actually worth now. And I can tell you now, it's worth more than $80 a barrel. So they're ripping you to the max. But hey, we've known that since Adam stepped off the ark, and he probably had to pay for the diesel to get that thing going. But yeah. Anyway, that's just a little gripe I thought I'd have about the fuel prices. But public transport is definitely the way to go if you're looking to not drive as much. As I said, they go just about everywhere now. We're also getting, I'm in Dinella here, which is more or less just cut lunch in a bottle. It's just hop, skip and jump down the road. And they're building the line straight to the airport. So that's going to be an extra little bonus if I need to go to the airport. Will be for people around here, because then you don't have to drive your car and pay. I think I had some friends a while ago. When I say a while ago, several years ago, they went to Brisbane to pick up a car, and they drove to the airport and got on the plane, went there, and then they were driving the car back. So we're looking at 4 days back, a day there, so nearly a week or so. The car was at the airport, and they were charged something like $250, $300 for that 2 weeks or whatever it was, which is a lot of money. If they had taken a taxi, taxi wouldn't have been so bad then, because taxis were only, they've now gone up 10%. Everything's going up. Everything's just going up and up and up. We're supposed to be able to survive on that, but hey, that's life, and that's the way things are. But I guess we shouldn't complain when you look at what's happening to other countries around the world. I still don't know, because I'm illiterate, I guess you want to say that, or ignorant, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the Ukraine war is about. As far as I know, because I don't watch the main media, mainstream media. I don't bother because they're just lying to me, and I don't like it. But what I have heard from bits and pieces, I think what happened was Putin said he's going to charge the Ukrainians for their oil or their gas or something at some flammable charges, and that far as I know, that's what started the war. Now I could be totally wrong. Let me know if I am. I don't care if I am right or wrong. It's just, this is how I've seen it. So, as Trump, and a lot of people don't like Trump, I didn't like Trump when he first started. I sort of waned towards him with what he's done and what he's going to do. And he said in a video just recently that it can be fixed like that. This war doesn't need to be a World War III, which they're calling it now. It could be fixed just like that. A bit of negotiation, bang, done. But Biden, I laugh every time I think of he's not the president, he's a puppet. He's there while somebody else is pulling the strings behind him, and they just put him out there to say that they're wiping his bum. But yeah, so Biden, no respect for the man at all. He shouldn't even be there, he's too old anyway. So I saw a video, I don't remember the guy's name who they were mentioning, but that was JFK, you know, the young JFK, or JFK Jr. And another guy they were saying should be put forward to be up for the next president of America. And we saw what happened to his uncle and what happened to his dad, so yeah, a bit worried about putting young Robbie, well, he's not young now, Robbie, he's got to be, well, he's probably older than me, and I'm 61, so yeah, it's a tough one. And we seem to be all going for these older people into as president. I mean, wouldn't it be smart to put a young person in who has a vision and wants to see the best thing for the nation or for America, instead of these old people who just help their agenda is screw the people and just make money. It's just, but that's all politicians, I think. Yeah, I was going to say what's the best thing about a politician, that it's being strapped to a brick and thrown in the ocean, but I don't think I'm allowed to say that because of the soft tossers out there with their pamby bloody attitudes nowadays. You've got to be so careful what you say. It's incredible. You just can't say anything and people get offended. Shit, when we were kids, mate, if we got offended over half the bullshit that people get offended over now, we've been smacked down and a fucking belt up by the other. We'd be hospitalised by our enemies because they just say, hey, you're a pansy, you're puffed up. Just, yeah, now I'm going to get done for that, saying that word, puffed up. But I don't care. I'm 61 years old. What are they going to do? Give me a slap on the wrist? Had that all my life. Why stop now? So yeah, it's a sad world, and it's not getting any better, and it should be. I mean, I heard the other day, now this is what really blows my goat, is climate change. America, Britain are going on about, I don't know if you've heard or not, they've got these zoning rules that you can't leave 15k from your home. You've got to, if you have to go to grandma's over here, you've got to go out of, let's say you're in York, you've got to go out of York and go out of London and go all the way around, you know, 60-mile trip just to go to grandma's, because you're not allowed to go through these things unless you get a permit, which you got paid for, which, seriously. Anyway, there was a point to that story, and that's what I hate about long stories. I lose the point of where I was going with it. But, yeah, zoning laws. I mean, where's that come from? We've never had that ever. Like, the people that fought Vietnam, World War I, World War II, all these people who died for us now to go through all the crap that we're going through, it's incredible. I know they're turning in their graves. They also say that it's climate change. That's where I was going with that. They're saying it's all to help climate change by stopping people, keeping people off the roads by stopping them from going into different areas, and it's revenue raising, it's them making money. But anyway, but I've heard that climate change is a little bit of a fallacy there, because the Earth, where they're saying it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, it's actually not. They're telling us now that it's actually cooling. The universe has its own way of sorting out its shit. It doesn't need us trying to intervene in it. It does. It's been doing it for billions of years before we got here. It'll be here for billions of years after we've gone. I mean, as somebody said today on one of the TikToks, we're here for a blink of an eye. It's 80 years at most we're on this planet for. So, it's the Mother Earth will look after herself. It'll still be here. That's why it has earthquakes and tsunamis and mudslides and volcano eruptions, because it's fixing itself. It's doing its own maintenance. We're just in the way. We're just on the planet while it's doing it all. It's like if we went to Mars, which is the red dead planet, but I'm sure it has a very strong wind. It'd be like us trying to stop that wind from happening. It's a natural phenomenon. You can't stop it. It's gonna keep happening. Even though that's going through a different story where they say we actually evolved from Mars to begin with. And that's a totally different subject we won't get into, because that'll let's go keep you up all night, that will. So, by the way, you're on Night Talk with Steve, where we talk about everything and anything, as you've seen. This will be broken down into sections as well, so you don't have to listen to it for the whole hour or whatever it goes for. I'm just trying to, vent a little bit, give information, be informative, if that's the word. I think I said that already. But I want everybody to laugh. I want you to smile more. I love it when you, I was in a shop the other day, months ago now, and something happened in the aisle, and I looked at this, and she was a model. I thought she was gorgeous. I looked at her and we caught eye to eye, and she just gave me this little bit of a smile of what had happened in the aisle, and that there just totally changed my day, because to see somebody else smile, especially in Coles, where everybody's just too, now you're lucky to see anybody smile at prices, except the checkout people who seem to think it's a good idea to smile when you're going to the checkout paying all your money out. But and that bloody do it yourself, what is it? I can't remember what it's called, where you go in and you pay for you do it yourself. Well, if they get ripped off, that's their own fault, you know. If they want to check your gear, they should be the ones who put it on the counter and do it the old way, instead of you have to do it yourself. And then they turn around and say, and this is from a friend of mine, she was saying that she got stopped and they asked to see her receipt, and she basically told them to bugger off. She said, you didn't do anything to help me collect it, you did nothing to help me price it, you did nothing to help me rebox it or package it, bugger off. And she just walked straight off, and I thought, that's, hey, kudos to that. They don't do anything, they're not going to work for it, don't give them nothing, just, and if people are ripping them off, their own fault. But the government it's funny, the government gives, like, if you're a business and like Coles, Woolworths, all those big brand stores, if you put in a report that you've lost $50,000 worth of sales through to theft, the government reimburse that. So they make the money anyway. So, and if you can rip the government, why not? And I'll say that on face to face to whoever. They've been ripping us for 50 years, so we're going to rip them back. Fair enough. I mean, their jabby thing, that was just a total farce. It was to make money, or for Farmer to make money, Bill Gates to make money. The country's suffered. People are suffering now from the damage. That another thing that arcs me to the max is, and you can Google this, it'll tell you, they make over $50 billion a day in taxes. Google it. It's free to go and have a look at how much the revenue is. And it's something like $50 billion a day, so that's nearly 365 billion. Yeah, if it's times 50. It is just incredible the amount of revenue they make and the prices they're putting now on speeding tickets and parking tickets and anything to do with a ticket. It's just highly overinflated. And I wonder why people are suffering and people are doing it hard. It's no matter where you turn, it's somebody trying to find you or get you. I mean, I had a friend, I won't mention any name, he was, he'd taken his girlfriend out to the museum and he'd parked somewhere and it was like, had a sign, so much parking. And he was like 5 minutes late coming back to the car. He came back, there was no car. It was 5 minutes late, there was no car. They'd already towed his car away. Now, how long does it take to tow a car? Well, first you've got to notice there's a car there, it's over the time limit. Then you've got to call the truck to come, and the truck will come. Then, and I worked as a company that picks up cars, because we used to do accident retrievals. And then you've got to make room, block the road off of you, you've got to stick out. You've got to then connect it up, pull it up, strap it down, then drive off. Now, he did not arrive there to any of that happening. He arrived there to, I'm sure I parked here somewhere. Anyway, he ended up having to go to, I think he rang the council and they said, yeah, it's been towed. And he said, well, when did you tow it? I don't think they gave him a full answer on that. Anyway, he had to pay X amount to get his car back because he was 5 minutes late of his ticket running out. Now that, to me, is pathetic. And they would have been there towing that car, putting that car on that truck, while it was still, the meter was still running. They have to do that. There's no way you can do it in less than 5 minutes. I know, because we used to do, as I said, we used to do vehicle retrievals if they've been abandoned or if they've been in an accident, and it takes time. So, yeah, no, there's no way it is just, in 5 minutes they've done it all. They are not that good. Even what do you call those people who are in the pits at the racing car clubs, they can't do it that quick, seriously. They were doing it while it was still ticking over, and he had to pay some, I can't remember, he did tell me how much it was, but I can't remember it now, but it was a phenomenal amount, or because they wanted to make money off it, and I think that's so wrong. But that's, again, trying to keep this light, people. Stop with the heavy stuff already. What is there good? What is there good? Any good movies? Any good movies out, people? Anything you know about? A lot of people are turning off the franchise for the Marvel now. Is it Marvel or DC? The word that I've heard is that they're just boring now. There's too much happening without the storyline. They're just doing stuff to do stuff. And that's not how you make movies. And they should know that, being professional movie makers they are. But they're just looking at putting bums on seats. The first 4 or 5 made billions, I guess, from revenue, from cinemas and so forth, and all the action figures and everything. So they just thought they'd keep going and going and going. Now I went and saw Aquaman, and by the middle of it, I was sitting there going, what is going on? What is happening? Because the scene was just so, he was underwater, and the scene was just so, I can't explain the word. It was so mixed up and you couldn't work it. The camera was here and there, it was basically doing this, and I thought, and it did that for about half an hour. And what is going on? What is it? And it's not because I'm blind, I could see quite well then. It was just, I think they ran out of things to do, so they've said to the cameraman, just shake the camera, and that's what it looks like, because it made no sense at all. And that was Aquaman, and I think they've made a few more since then. We've had Spider-Man, another Spider-Man. How many of them can they make? I guess we said that about Rocky. Some of you mentioned the other day, Rocky 7. I don't know if that's true or not. I should Google that, find out. But yeah, Rocky 7. Was there 7 of them? Yeah. But yeah, movies. Anything exciting that I know of. Even locally, I don't think we have too much happening. Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Where else will we? Food. Any good restaurants you suggest? But who can afford to go really? They did a measurement or whatever you call it. I saw it on TikTok as well, and it was a percentage of that has dropped since 2020, and even going out to out to dinner has dropped to 1.7 or something. It's just really low percentage compared to what 10% that it was before, 20%. It's just dramatically dropped because people just can't afford with the, they're calling it a recession. Now my sister said recession the other day, and my sister said, "Oh no, it's inflation." And I said, "No, they're calling it a recession." She's going, "Oh, I'm not believing that, I think it's inflation." So whatever you want to call it, inflation, recession, it's still costing you money. And people are finding it hard, they're not able to go out with that steak, afford a steak. I remember years ago I used to get a steak at a restaurant, at a roadhouse, because I was a truck driver, and you'd get a mixed grill, which was steak and sausage and bacon and all good stuff. And you would pay about $27 for it, and that was understandable, but the plate was like, like this. It was it fed you, and probably offside as well. But now the steak, I think you're looking at about $40 just for the steak, and then you peas and gravy and everything else you're paying on top. So yeah, and even to buy it in the shop, just a bit of steak to take home and put on a barbie, it's you have to take out a mortgage on your house to buy a bit of steak, and that's not over exaggerating. It's I've seen the prices in the store when you pay $13 for a dozen eggs. Seriously, $13 for a dozen eggs. In a way, it makes me laugh because it's so crazy. How can it ever get to that crazy? But so I love it. Yeah, good laugh. You want to have a laugh at your local shop, look at the crazy prices, and you can have a good laugh. Yeah. Well, that's probably it for the day. Cut it off there and see how we go with it. If this ever gets to air, we'll see. Probably too depressing to put on there actually. But I thought I'd give it a go. I was bored. So we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.